get started with the recap. In our last session, you all, after defeating the shadow creature, figured out a little mirror puzzle, and were able to find a portal behind this mysterious door within this cursed-looking room. And as you went through it, you found a stone hallway with a little pit. Unfortunately, Turlin fell in. Very unfortunate for them, but that's all right.
Ollie.
Was able to get out, and then after sneaking around and Turlon attempting to kill this little creature that they found, or this decrepit-looking being that they found, tripped over his feet a little bit, or tripped over their feet a little bit, and
I'm stupid.
yeah, and you found four, as we're affectionately calling him, because he's got four question marks, and he gave some information. He's a completely gray, naked man with no eyelids, so pretty wild. And after some talking, you all realized that you appear to be not on Sumia anymore. As soon as you walk through that door, Ori is not here.
Things are suddenly normal.
Yeah, Ori.
Like a regular reaction to the events around us.
Yeah, Ori is not there. A little spooky. But after exploring some other places, place appears to be some kind of, I don't know, prison-looking thing, because people are not these people that are captured are not able to escape. There's some magical barriers on their rooms, and they appear to be mind-controlled whenever they leave. But this person has no memory of who they were. It's only vague memories come back. And then you ran down the hallway for about a minute just to explore more. And you all found a child who has 5 question marks. A also naked gray child with no eyelids, but 4 kind of spoke with a raspy voice. This child does not. And we ended just as he was saying the information that he had gone into the shadow room, which you all remembered as soon as you entered Sumia on one of the maps. As you were just kind of looking at all the places that could be in Sumia, you saw on the top right there was the shadow room on the map there. So that's a little concerning, but he has just said this information to you all, and he continues talking. He kind of seems to be a little bit more, still hesitant, but more willing to talk to you all, and he tried to just escape, and the magical barrier is still there. And he says, well, I know I shouldn't have done it, but my dad said not to go to there. It was a dangerous place, but I still went, and it's just curiosity got the better of me. Is there any way that you can get me out, please? And he looks to the 3 of you.
No idea.
Unlikely. Unlikely. At least not today. Not now.
He says, Do you all know where we are at all? Do you know?
No to that one too.
No.
He looks around. He says, He gets kind of a worried look in his eyes, and he says, I think we're beyond the Alisong barrier. He looks around.
How old is this fucking kid?
Like
the what?
9.
The
9.
what?
I thought you ought to roll a religion check.
9-year-olds, I actually know some pretty important physics equations. Have you heard of them?
I bend down and start shaking this kid, demanding he give me information.
The Alisong barrier?
The Alisong barrier, or the Alkasong
What is it?
barrier.
What is it?
Oh, wow.
What is the Alkasong barrier?
So I rolled my dice, but it looked a little bit crooked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rolled it again.
Yep.
Both ones. So
Wow,
I don't know what
wild.
I don't know what the fuck this is. That's a 1 in 400 chance.
I'll do that too.
Mhm.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah, I got a 17.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, I'll say, Felix, this is the first time you've heard these words just even uttered. For you, Vita, you hear that, and for just a brief moment, you know what it is. But as soon as you try and remember, what you just remembered, it's gone. It's lost. It was on the tip of your tongue, and you knew what it was, but there was some, you heard that and like sparked something, but you were not able to
Why did I walk in
remember.
this room again?
remember what it was. But for Turlon, the only context that you've ever heard the Alkazong barrier is when things are banished away from somewhere. Uh, you they are often like poetically said to be beyond the Alkazong barrier. You don't know what that is, but I'll say pretty firmly, you do not feel banished right now. I mean, even Felix went back
Right.
through the
I'm
portals, so
I'm
you
gonna
don't
stoop
believe
down.
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna stoop down to the kid's level and just like
You're
I
dumb.
the what?
He says, I was when I was reading about scary places and I think that we may all be banished. How did you all get here? Were you banished just like
We
me?
walked in. We walked in. Through the door.
Good for you. We think you're wrong.
How did you
he
get here?
he looks I went into the shadow room and everything went black. The door closed behind me and then I woke up here. I haven't and he kind of goes up to his eyes. I haven't been able to close my eyes since.
Oh,
And he
Like
looks into you.
he's just staring at us unblinking.
Yes, yeah, he can't. He doesn't
he
have
has no
eyelids.
eyelids.
He doesn't have eyelids, so he is just full eyes, just looking all around. But he says, "Yeah, and he says, "Well, if you all walked in here, then how do you not know where we are?"
I still have eyelids, right?
Yes, you all have eyelids.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a
Thank
good
goodness.
distinction. Yeah, a good question.
I take a good relaxed blink.
Yeah,
I
rub it
t-
in.
I turn to you guys. I go. I don't go. That's me, not Turlon. But Turlon looks at you guys. Says, well, we just think we crossed some sort of portal, right? It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know much ourselves, I'm afraid.
He looks and he says, "Well, what led me to the shadow room is, well, my dad said I couldn't, I went to the museum in Riddock, and there was words I couldn't say there, and I asked my dad, and he said never to say them, and I was really concerned, or
Words you're not supposed to
Where?
say. Words you're
I
not
was
supposed to
Words?
say.
In the museum of Riddock.
He
Is what
can't
he
say
said.
bomb in the Redock airport.
Yeah. Is that
But
one?
but he was saying, but I couldn't say them, and I got curiosity get the better of me, and I went to the library and I started reading about it, and the shadow rooms were mentioned in there, and
Well, you can say it
and,
now.
and he
Yeah, we're
says
pretty well beyond the.
What are the words?
Yes. Why don't you just say the words then?
he he starts shaking his head, and he says, "No, I know that I can't say it. I know, and I'd like you all to roll a religion check, but make it private for me. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll roll it for you, Felix.
Guys,
Yeah, but make it
hold
just for
on.
me.
I think I might have to go buy a scratcher.
You roll another
Like,
one?
yeah.
There's
I would just
Ooh.
count that for him. The fact that he's rolled 3 ones in a row.
you you roll one more one, you die. That is
Times.
yeah. What is 20 to
One.
the third power?
20.
8,000.
Yeah, that is wild.
No
That's so funny.
fucking way.
It's a bunch of unusuals you could have unboxed.
Yeah, you could have, dude. You used all your luck, dude.
1 in 8,000 chance of this
That's so
happening. Are you
funny.
serious?
Yeah, we love that. We love that.
Do I dare? I'm actually gonna save it for like. I'm not just gonna roll. I'm gonna wait for a next
Yeah.
skill check so I can roll
Yeah,
my
exactly.
fourth one.
You're
Exactly.
banished.
Yeah, you're at the beyond the Alcasong barrier, wherever the fuck that is. But you, yeah, Felix, I'm just gonna count a one for you as well, just 'cause that's funny. But I'll say, Felix, even with your one, I'll say you know that with how visceral his reaction to not saying them, they're probably not just bad words. There are, words that you shouldn't say in the world. You feel like to say them out loud would be to like depreciate your soul in some way.
So is he
Yeah,
saying
like
he learned
curse.
them in the museum, or he just shouldn't have said them in the museum?
No,
Or
he
No, he
said
saw
he
them.
saw them in the museum.
Dude,
He's-
Riddock sucks.
So,
this is
Uh,
publicly displayed.
They
child,
list like the house that kills you on the map as like a tourist spot. And you go to the local museum and it's like, if you say these words, you die.
no.
If you say these words in this order, with pronunciation right underneath it, if you say
Yeah.
those words in these order, your soul goes to hell before you die.
Yeah, I'll
So
I'll say for you, Turlon, you know that when you're hearing this and at a museum, you're trying to put two and two together. What words would be at a museum that may be written down, but you can't say out loud? And the only thing that comes to mind is you know that you are in the 37th era of Vidana is your current, and you know that in previous eras you they have been named era of something else, and you know not to say those words. You don't know what will happen if you say those words, but you do. It feels like the best way I can describe it is it's like if you were to like say a slur. It feels wrong to say it, right? It's not just a bad word. You don't know what the context is for why you shouldn't say it, but
Yeah.
it
like deep
is
cultural knowledge.
yeah, like it is just something deeply you should not say. For you, Vita, the only you're trying to think of any words why someone wouldn't say a words or wouldn't want to say words, and the absolutely only word that comes to your mind, uh, it just pops into your head, much like when uh, he said the Alkasong barrier. A word that pops into your head when he says this is the word Kosa. Kosa. I'll put that in the
Okay.
chat. You can
So
understand why he wouldn't want to say it, but you don't know why. You
So
know,
him saying that pretty much made me think of another slur that I know, and it's like, oh, like that. Is that what you're
you,
saying?
he said there's words that I saw that I should not say, and the only thing that pops into your head for what it could be is Kosa.
When are
But I
we
don't
getting
know.
the Sumia slur supplement, Steven?
Vita hears this and he's like, slurs? I know slurs.
So what do I know what the word Kosa means?
You have no idea. Like I'm telling
Dylan, maybe
you,
you should stop saying it.
you're in this
But
conversation.
Sumia,
You're in this conversation. This kid is talking about things that you don't understand, and now he's talking about words that he shouldn't say, and he really does not want to say them. And so he's like, I can't say them, and you're trying to think, what could those words be? And the only possible word in your mind is the word Kosa.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna say it
to.
out loud.
So what do you say?
I'm just gonna say, like Kosa. To
Yeah.
hopefully that's not offensive.
All right. I'm first going to describe what happens from
Oh,
The
Vita's
aeons
perspective.
I feel like I
of
fucked up.
cultural
From what
everything.
I want to first describe what happens from Vita's perspective. Okay, there's a little bit of a cinema. There's a little bit. This is a little bit of a cinematic moment. So everybody strap in.
Cinematic
Um,
slur moment.
yeah. As soon as the word Kosa leaves your lips, Vita, you know that you have fucked up. I'll say that there's been a fireplace in this room. The shadows across the walls that have been flickering back and forth freeze in place. Suddenly the air feels incredibly heavy, and incredibly cold. It feels like you're suddenly just stuck within molasses. Even if you try and move, it's difficult. Suddenly, the sound that has kind of been constant throughout all as you've been in this strange place is completely silent. It's a silence that you have never experienced before. And you are looking around you, your hands begin to feel cold. And as you look across this room, the three people that are around you, Felix, Turlon, and this child, as soon as you have said this word, their heads have snapped towards you, looking directly at you.
What?
And their eyes are no longer their own. Their eyes are glowing this vibrant, deep, hot pink color. They are uh, they are glowing with such a bright light that you feel like you should be looking away, but you cannot. And all of them say in unison with one another, but their voice is not their own. It is a voice that seems to be just echoing within your head, and it cannot be. It's a voice that you know that could not ever be made by any mortal. But I'm going to obviously try and replicate it, but it's a terrifyingly chilling voice. You hear, "Have you learned your lesson, you tainted wretch?" And as that finishes, suddenly, you've been in this crazy experience. You try to let out a breath that you've maybe been holding this entire time. But when you try, no breath comes out. You try and breathe in, no air comes in. Suddenly, you are trying to breathe, but nothing is coming in or out. It's as if you're like a fish out of water, and you are, gasping for air. And you your hands start to feel cold, and normally in a silence, whenever you've been in the quiet, you've always at least been comforted by the beating of your heartbeat. But you go to look for that, and you do not hear your heart beating within your head. And suddenly, your eyes, you start to feel a little lightheaded. Your
No.
fingers and feet start to feel cold, as if there's not circulation going to them. Your vision starts to get blurry, and the panic is really setting. What have I done? What have I fucked up in some way? Holy shit, why did I say Kosa? Why did I say that word? And you're just bombarded as these three people around you are just staring with these glowing eyes. And then just as quickly as it all froze, the shadows start to move with like a cacophonous boom. Your heartbeat comes back, boom, boom, in your head, and you are able to breathe in suddenly as this experience seemingly has stopped. Now, from Felix and Turlon, and from I guess the child's perspective, as soon as Vita says Kosa, your head feels such a sharp, searing pain that you can only imagine that it's as if you were able to still be conscious and fully experience pain as if you were shot while you're being shot in the head or something. It is such a extreme pain that it practically brings you to your knees, and you're you're not able to process anything. Your brain has effectively like restarted in this moment, and you feel like such a shearing pain that you are now kind of kneeling on the ground, but it subsides after a couple of seconds. And I would like you all to make will saving throws for me.
You set me up for that shit.
That was all you, dog.
You
He
gave
said
me a word, a
What's
word I knew, and I just said the word.
that was literally all you.
what's my
You,
will save bonus?
you plus 9. You are an
Oh,
expert at it.
28.
Holy shit. Yeah.
How do I roll that in here?
23.
It's
It's
on
on the
your
left.
character sheet.
Fades.
Oh, thanks.
You gave yourself misfortune, Turlon, in running that.
I mean, he literally did.
Uh,
My bad.
That's
will,
on me, guys.
No way I kind of know what's gonna happen.
no. So,
It's a learning moment.
Felix
Definitely.
and Turlon, you do not take any damage, any psychic damage. I'll tell you that. But the pain is still there. You are not, your HP isn't brought down, but you did still experience this pain.
What about the kid?
Yeah, what I'm gonna roll is so
Kill
the
the kid by saying a slur.
Sorry.
the kid has a. I will just say this: the kid has a only 10 HP, and
Don't put this on me, dude. I didn't mean this.
Dylan Pearson, that is literally so you.
and a +1 for the wisdom, and the DC is 11. Okay, it goes up with
50-50.
level.
Okay.
Yep,
You should
Okay.
roll that public die
yep.
for us
It
to
will
see.
be. It will be. Here we go.
Crit
Let's roll.
failure and before crit fail. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
sorry.
just a failure. Just a failure. So I'm gonna first roll the damage for the kid. Okay, it's a D10.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
Oh,
It's gonna.
Okay.
The kid could die. The kid
kid
could die.
could die.
Odds are he's fine.
The
He's fine.
kid
9
could
out
die.
of 10,
9 out of
90%
10.
chance to live.
Yep.
Nothing
Right.
is added to this, right?
That's
Does
good.
God
Nothing's added.
hate you, kid?
Yep, nothing's
Yeah.
added to this. You
1
are gonna
in
take.
10.
Yes. So let's see. Let's all see.
It's gonna be so funny.
Oh, God, oh,
almost.
Oh.
Almost.
He
The
starts
story.
vomiting blood.
Yeah, the story would have been crazy. But I will
Holy
say
shit.
you are going to take 2d10 halved, Dylan. If you would like to roll
No.
2d10, you can.
Sure.
So what we've
Because
learned is that if we're in a
because-
real pinch and can't do damage to someone, we can just say Kosa
Yeah.
to do like a psychic bomb.
At
Kamikaze,
also our
yeah.
own expense.
Yes, exactly. You take only
Kamikaze.
5 damage from your experience, but I do want to stress that you all still went through this crazy
Oh.
experience that I will say none of you have gone through before. But yeah, so Felix and Turlon, you did know not to say them, but you have not.
I don't think I knew.
also-
I think I was just like, well, I probably shouldn't. Because
Yeah,
I don't know
most-
a fucking thing about these words. So
Yeah.
from our perspective, so did we actually like stare at him? Like was that
From your
So did
perspective,
we-
nothing happened. You just
like-
heard him say Kosa, and you just went. You got a blinding, searing pain in your head.
So I'm
You
gonna
did not
immediately just
experience-
back up into the corner away from all these people.
so yeah, the pain
Oh,
was
I'll
so
pause
much
the
it removed our senses for a set amount of time.
Some
Some
just
unknown
from
amount of time.
just above board. Time was frozen for Vita,
Okay,
and
that's what I
you,
thought.
you were taking control over for a second.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I'm backing up away.
So he says that, and then I have the worst headache of my life, and Vita is like
Yeah, and you're
nearly
kinda like,
falling
yeah,
over, backing up.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
yeah, and you all also see the kid like is still kind of just kneeling on the ground, and maybe it's just like
Is the kid
What-
bleeding now that he's bloodied?
maybe internal bleeding. You can't see any blood, but he is
Oh,
holding his
God.
head with both of his hands, just still experiencing. But yeah, you back up, Vita, into the corner.
Yeah. Like,
Vita,
I'm
what
terrified of everybody.
Fuck. What
Um,
the fuck was that?
I'm like fucking sweating. I'm clamoring. I can't. I don't even know if I can say anything in response.
I'm like
I like wipe
keeled
my
over,
nose,
covering my ears.
to
Yep.
check if there's like a little blood.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not because I didn't take damage, but I'm like,
Yep.
where did you learn that?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't. Why did you?
Did we even hear the word get said?
Yes.
Or did,
it was
like,
after. It was as soon. It was like
Okay.
it's like
It's
this.
like a
It's like
flashbang going
it was like Kosa.
I'm
If we
thinking
say
of
it
that-
again, we could kill this child.
Bad word.
I'm thinking of that clip where the guy like sticks 2 forks into a toaster, and then it's like a full frame later he's back.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I know that one.
I know that one. He shits his pants in midair.
Yeah. So did Vita shit his pants?
No, but
No, he didn't.
Reflex
No,
saving throw to not shit your pants.
exactly.
If I would have lost 10 damage, I would have. But
Mm-hmm.
5 is not enough.
Nope.
Every time you take more
Uh,
than 10 damage at a time, you have to roll a D100. 1 means you shit your pants.
exactly 1%.
Vita's gonna look so confused, and he's gonna
Mhm.
just like stammer, ask, like barely get the words out. Like, how did you
Mhm.
guys like do that?
Do what?
What did we did that? I did
Oh
not
my
do. I was under the assumption you did that, and I'm just gonna kind of like twitch a little bit as I'm like clearly physically uncomfortable and like trying to adjust my robes appropriately.
Yeah, Vita, it's like you said that and then a nail was driven into my skull. What?
What the fuck, man?
I'm gonna
Uh,
kind of just like look to the kid.
Oh my god, he's bleeding.
Did that happen to you?
Yeah,
Did you say something like that?
I'll say that the kid in this moment is kind of still kneeling down, or no, I'll say he's sitting down at this moment, and he looks up to y'all, and you can see he is crying, but he is not able to clear the tears out of his eyes or blink, so they're kind of just falling
fuck.
out of his eyes.
Cool.
And he's just shaking his head back and forth, kind of rocking, and he says, "That's why we don't say it. I think Dad was right. That's why we don't say it."
I'm gonna get down like in front of him again very closely, and I'm just gonna say, "Did you say that word?"
He says, "No, I never
Did you
said,
say a word like that word?
I never said any of those words, but that," and he looks to you, Vita, and he says, that was the word that uh, I was most interested in. And he's just shaking his head, and he's like, I never said it. No, I'll never say it. I'll make sure I'll never say it."
So
Right.
that
Be-
word was in the museum? That's where you first learned it?
He's shaking his head up and down.
The
Yes.
museum just has.
Holy shit.
There's a gun where if you walk
This is
up
a
to the
bad
display, you can
place.
pull out the gun and then you can shoot people around you for fun.
Well, I'm
This
gonna
is a
look to
bad
the
place.
kid, and I'm gonna say, "Quiet now," and I'm gonna turn to you, Vita. Where did you learn that word?
I don't know where I learned it. It just feels like it's always been in me. It just came to front of my I don't even know. I don't know how I know it. I don't know what it means.
The slur just came to me in a
It
dream.
just yeah, it's just ingrained in me.
God delivers slurs to my brain, and
I
I
don't know what
deliver
you want
them
me
to
to
the
say.
world.
Why are you giving me your worst slurs? Because you're my most racist soldier.
Oh,
Exactly.
sorry.
Exactly. Uh,
Do we know if this
Did
is a
I know that?
racist term?
Did I know
I
that
Isn't it?
word?
I will
Did I? Did
say,
I?
yeah,
I knew there were words not to say based on the names of eras. Did I specifically know that one?
yeah. So I'll say all of you roll a. Is there a history? I just played a 5e thing. What
Generally,
would be
society
comparable?
is it's society if
Society.
it's about culture, and
Yeah.
it's a more specific thing if it's about like
Mm.
a task.
Then I would do religion and make it a secret roll again, so I can roll it
Blind
for you,
GM or private
Felix. Blind GM.
rolled.
Private means I don't even see it. Let me.
What did I get?
Well, I'll roll it for you, so you don't get to know. You're looking at the screen. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You can see it. Sure. Uh, yeah. So I will say as soon as you're now digesting what word Vita said, like going into your own mental palace, trying to think of the words from Felix and Turlon as you're thinking about it. You know of Yes, of the different eras in the past, right, of history. Kosa is one that I'll say this. First, I'll start off with this. This is just some Sumia lore that your characters would know based off of these roles. For Felix and Turlon, you know that the eras are named after some kind of entities that are above the gods, right? If you worship, like, I mean, Etbison, the goddess of the gust, right? Uh,
Classic.
which is
Yeah,
just fun.
I bet she could say Costa.
Yeah, Juton, I don't know, Juton, goddess of the forest, right? All the deities that you've ever heard of, right, are typically just called like the gods, right? But in other contexts, they're called the second order deities because there is an echelon above these deities called the first order, as you can imagine. uh, of beings that are more powerful than the gods. And you know that, for instance, uh, Vidana, right, which is the one you're in, you know that that is some entity that is more powerful than the gods. And whenever, like I said when we talked about the era change last time, these things just happen. They haven't happened in your lifetime except for this one time where it is now Vidana's era, whereas before it was Jukum's era. You
That's when everyone forgets their memories, right?
and that's where everyone, yeah, like forgets memories unless they were just facts about your life, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like a memory reset, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we talked about like when you all had your first dream segment. So because of that, that is the context of eras, and you know that there are entities that are above the gods, and those seem to be the names of the eras. And no one decides that. That kind of just is. But I'll say for Kosa, Turlon, you know that a long time ago there was an era of Kosa. You know that of all of the eras that have happened in the past, you've only ever heard negative things about it. You've only heard awful things about it, honestly. You know that various eras in the past, there have been wars and stuff, but anything you've ever heard about an era of Kosa is everything is at war, seemingly.
Kosa is
The
bad
world.
vibes.
Yeah, Kosa is specifically bad vibes. Felix,
I'm
I'll
with-
say that you know that Kosa is one of the, it's some era that happened long a time ago where one of them was Kosa's, but you don't know anything of it. You just heard of these higher order entities, these first order deities. Vita, you don't know why Kosa created such a reaction.
I was the one that knew the word. So we have like
You were,
weird different pieces of this.
yeah.
I'm wondering if this has anything to do with like the gods trying to prevent you from like thinking about the past. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
live in the moment.
It sounds like they can do anything, and then whenever this happens, everybody just forgets about it.
Yes.
Like, so. But that means you guys would have recognized the word when I said it.
Yeah, so I'll say, yeah, in terms of you both now thinking about the word Kosa, yes, that could have been one of the words that people cannot say, and it would make sense for it to be in a museum, but it would, it wouldn't, people don't say them because people typically uh, know not to say them, so it's kind of odd that Vita said it, I'll say that. Or not odd, it is very incredibly abnormal considering all of you have seen these words, but you know that you weren't allowed to say them.
Ugh.
So
Yeah.
if you guys have heard of him before or it or whatever, like an era or something, why would I know? Why would that be in my head?
I don't know. I mean, I know, like, I think that that was an era a long time ago, but I don't
It's
know
all
why
the
you know it.
history.
What? Okay. What happened with you, Vito? I like doubled over. You didn't do that.
Yeah, you seem to think we did something. We have the power to do
You
something. What was
you
that
did.
about?
What did we do?
I can assure you we didn't do anything. We both kneeled over in
I can
pain, if that's
assure
what you
you
mean.
that no, it was like everything was stopped, like everything was frozen. There was no, lights or sound or air or anything was moving, but you guys were moving and talking to me. But it wasn't you guys. It
No,
was
it doesn't
something
seem like it
else.
was.
Huh.
I don't know how to make you remember, but it happened for sure.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have just made that up. You all looked at
I'm
me, your eyes were glowing.
I'm gonna turn to the child. What did you see, child?
He, again, he's still sitting on the ground. He said, I didn't see anything. I, It's just like, and he looks to you, Turlon and Felix. It's just like you all said. My head
He
feels
was
like
part
it
of it
was
too.
split open.
He was doing the same thing. It was everybody all at once. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. And
I
then it all
look at
came back.
you somewhat dismissively and just like the kid was doing that.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes. Everyone. All three of you at the same time. Glowing eyes. But I guess no one remembers. But it wasn't
No.
your voices. It was a different voice coming out of your bodies.
Wow, that's unsettling.
I know. It was awful.
No, that was your fault.
I didn't know. I didn't know you weren't supposed to say it like that. I didn't know words could do that. Apparently they can, he says.
I
He?
hope I never accidentally say one of those words.
Uh, I will
I mean,
say,
I'm not gonna say it.
yeah, as you're having this conversation, from within the hallway, very faintly, start to hear what sounds like drums, very distant drums.
Oh.
It's probably the worst place you could
It's
have ever
very.
created.
It was always, this humming before, but you all are able to now hear drums far in the distance. You can't tell from where in the hallway, but it is certainly very quiet if they are drums.
That happened like just now, right? It
Yes,
didn't like.
you all
Okay.
been just talking, and it's not loud, but it's like it's very quiet. Just dum, 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 dum,
I don't like that.
Okay.
We need to
Sound
get
like
out
it's
of here.
getting closer.
A little bit, yeah. I'll say if you kind of wait for a second, it does sound like it's getting a little bit louder.
Okay, we need to
Okay,
get out of
well,
here.
we'll deal with this. We'll deal with that. I point it. I'm not pointing. I'm motioning towards Vito. We'll deal with you that whole thing
We'll figure that out
later.
Yep.
Mhm.
We're gonna have
Yeah,
to
we need to leave.
put a pin in that. I want to like poke my head out into the hallway and just like close my eyes and listen. Which direction are the drums coming from? Are they coming from like the entrance the way we came, or are they further down?
From the left.
From the
From the
left.
way you did not come.
So
The
farther
woke
down.
left.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just look down there and see if there's anything, because it's just a perfectly straight hallway.
Yeah, so far, yeah. I would make
So
a
we shouldn't go
perception
towards
check.
it.
I'm
I'll ask
thinking
the.
that
I didn't
one's
say
pretty
that. I
clear.
didn't say that.
Okay.
Make a perception check for
So I rolled a 6.
me. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I add.
You add a 7 to it, so
13.
nice 13.
Not bad.
Call it a
Not
13.
great.
I will say as soon as you kind of peek your head around the corner, it is definitely coming from the left direction. It gets louder as you kind of move around the corner, right? But in terms of visually, down at the center, as if like the lines of where the walls and the ceiling and the floor connect, very at an apex, there is a white dot. You cannot see it, but before that white dot was not there, and it appears to be very far in the distance. There's a light.
Huh.
Does this kid know anything about that?
And I'll say as at this moment the kid, after being shaken up by this experience, being very low HP, he hears these drums, and he says, "Oh, these things have come by before to make sure that we're all in line. Are you all going to stay here? Could you all get me out of here, please, before they come?"
I don't think we can get you out of here. I'm sorry.
Can you walk out the door?
He tries to push through again, and once again the barrier is still there. He's not able to walk through, but you all are able to.
I'm gonna shake my head. I'm sorry. We can't do anything to help you.
He says,
And I'm gonna turn to you guys, not listening to the kid. We need to get out of here.
he
Are
says,
they,
"Are
are
you
they
coming
weak?
back?
Can
Are
we
you coming
stop them? What are they?
He
like,
just starts shaking his head. No,
We could
I
barely stop one of those things that saw us earlier. Let alone more. We need to get out of here now.
All right.
It's
I'll
the
do
three
that.
of us or none of us.
He says, "Are you
And
taking me? Can you get me out of here?"
We can't. We literally cannot.
I'm gonna
They're not gonna
shake,
kill you. They need you. Okay.
I'm gonna shake my head.
What's
It's
the
like,
name of your dad?
If
What's your
they
dad?
He'll
uh,
be looking for you.
my dad's name is Praya.
Right. Last name?
Uh,
Come on, Sumia.
address, social security number, mother's maiden name,
uh,
birthday.
And where can we find him?
Praya Vom.
Mom? Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, that's good
Praya
enough.
Vom.
Someone
All
type
right.
it in chat.
I'll put it in chat.
Thank you. Okay, they're not gonna kill you. They need you.
Let's
Just do what they
go.
say.
Let's go.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about what I said.
Vita, we need to leave. We leave.
We're going.
The
Jesus.
drums are
I'm
getting a
going.
little bit quicker.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Dude, the drug squad is coming to kill us, dude. I'm
going.
not. I don't
I'm
feel at
going.
all bad about rushing you. I feel like I'm objectively doing the right thing right
I'm
now.
going.
All right.
I'm
Do
running.
you all start running?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
You're running once again down these kind of dimly lit hallways, and you pass. You kind of
By
running
4.
across. Yeah.
By 4.
Do you do anything with Vor as you all are running by?
We'll be right back. 4.
Yep. See ya.
Huh, what? Oh, hi. Oh, okay. I forget it's a raspy voice. Uh, and as you're running, you see still that the door is open. As you're running, you see the door slowly approaching, and the
Yep.
door's open, and you just see still the remains of the shadow creature and the doom. And yeah, there was a pit here, but I'll say you're able to all clear it. I don't need
Leap.
a roll. Don't need a roll for that. But you all jump across the gap, and you are now in this room with the shadow creature. You're back in the room. As soon as you step over the threshold, you no longer hear that the hum that has kind of been constant throughout, and it is kind of jarring how quiet it is since you've gotten so used to just
And
having
Ori
this
is back.
constant thought. And yes,
Right.
as soon as you return, Ori has reappeared at your side, kind of in front of you.
Okay.
Like just out of nowhere, or it was hiding in a crevice.
Ori just appears in the room
Oh.
as soon as you walk through, Ori just kind of appears in front of you.
Why couldn't you follow us in there?
Where the fuck were you?
It says, I could not find you. I always
You didn't see
follow.
us walk through?
I cannot find you. I always
Okay.
follow.
We'll deal this later. We'll deal this later.
I turned. I'm like, God, I fucking hate cities.
Too many things.
Yeah.
I want to turn around. Do I see anything? That is like the door's open.
Yes. Since y'all were just kind of sprinting, I'll say right now you see very at the end of the hallway that's still kind of light, but it doesn't appear to have gotten any closer because y'all ran probably like a quarter mile or something.
Close
Not a
that
quarter
damn
mile.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not see anything. Okay.
Close that door. Close that door.
You close the door, and voila, you are now back in just a room.
Oh my God.
Oh my
And
God is right.
the front door is still open, and it still appears to be nighttime outside.
Is the moon still the same phase? Bro, I'm not even.
Yeah, no,
I'm being so
fully,
serious.
fully understandable. Yeah. You go outside and make a survival check for me.
Oh God, I'd love to survive. That is.
Mm-hmm.
9.
9. I will say.
I rolled an 18 for survival.
Are you also looking outside? Yeah. If everybody.
No, I don't need to look outside. I can just. No, I do. I
I-
mean, I do. Disoriented,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you. But
I would too. I'll do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, if you're looking outside, then everyone, as you look up,
It's a waning
Turlon,
gibbous.
you're not entirely in terms of looking at the phase of the moon, it is the same phase. But Vita and Felix, you also notice it's the same phase. But you also notice that you all were gone for like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours or so. You all, were in this other realm for a little bit of time. And I'll say, as you go outside, the moon doesn't appear to have moved much less than you would have expected.
Oh man.
I
Oh man.
I look
What
to
4 has been in there forever.
Mhm.
Quite possibly.
you
We
mean?
don't know if
How
we don't
okay,
know if
okay,
time
okay,
moves
okay. Steven, so
consistently.
you don't need to do this math. Is it safe to say that in the real world minutes have passed? Like I could count in single minutes how much time has actually passed.
Yes.
Like okay.
I would
Okay,
say
we were
like
in there.
yes.
We were in there for an hour.
Mhm.
2 hours. I can count on one hand how many minutes has passed here.
Yeah.
Four has been in
I'm
there
with
for
you.
Four has been in there for so long. He doesn't remember who he is, his name, anything about himself. He has probably gone through so many era changes that his mind has just been obliterated.
What does that mean about the kid? What if his
The
parents
kid
aren't
should,
even alive anymore?
His Preavan might have died a long time ago. I mean, we still have to search.
yes.
That might be someone's like
This is a bad place.
that.
Or-
I
That's
this
all I
is
gotta
why
say.
I fucking hate the city. It sucks.
I didn't want to come here.
Especially this one. Jesus fucking Christ.
we should
I
go
don't
back
want to
to
come
the
here.
burst.
I don't want to go here. We should lighten the mood. Go to the burst.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Uh,
just kind of like breathe heavy.
Can we go back to
Well,
our room?
I guess.
I think the real solution is just chill in there and time
Yeah.
travel to like the future. Like
Oh
with
my god, we
with
still
the
have Kenny. We got. Oh god.
Oh my god, she's still in the room.
Hopefully.
We told her not to leave.
She's not that dumb.
Yeah, she's not that dumb.
It
Hey, but
hasn't
you
been
know
that
what?
long, really, for her.
It's actually it took us like what 20-30 minutes to walk here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
probably like
say
an hour by the
yeah,
time
Yeah,
it's
we get
once we
been
get
back.
an hour
back,
or
we'll have
so.
been gone an hour. It's fine.
Okay. I want to go
Ugh.
back
Yeah, me too.
Y'all
and
heading
sleep.
back
I need a
to
rest.
heading
I'm
back
tired
to
as
Radok.
fuck.
Same.
yeah. Let's get the hell out of here. Get a rest and keep
Norman,
keep an eye
Excuse
on to
me.
see if we're being trailed or something.
make a perception check.
I'll do that.
Yeah. For the people worried. Ooh.
Natural 20.
Hell yeah. Hey, yeah, make it up for
Good. Jesus.
1 in 8,000. That's not going well. I'm remembering that.
Yeah.
We crossed the Abelat Rift or whatever that is.
Thank
That were the
God.
real dice rolling.
Yeah.
I will say
Cursed.
Those were
yeah.
my banished dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can stay. They can stay in there.
Yeah, honestly. No, these are my froggy dice. They're gonna. I'm unbanishing them.
We'll
I'll
have to
free them.
save them.
My froggy dice.
My froggy dice.
No
They've been
way,
good to me.
Froggy.
I tried to pull you, Kevin, to the Riddock map. Oh, okay, now it's working. Okay.
I'm just taking my time. Okay,
Just
I'm
take
not. I'm
time.
patient.
Taking my damn
Patient.
time.
All right,
Time.
Burst.
take it easy.
Burst.
Forget
Yeah, of
about
course.
it.
Yeah, bursting. Currently bursting.
You
I'll
know,
say.
bursting.
Yeah, you're definitely not being followed, but I will say a keynote is as you're walking away from this shadow room, the door shuts on its own behind you, which is spooky,
God, I fucking
but
hate this.
probably one of the least spooky things that have happened in the past 2 hours for you all. But as you walk back, based off where the sun or where the moon is, it's probably like 1 a.m. I don't remember what time y'all kind of left, but I'd say it's like, it's middle of the night, like 12, 1 a.m. And as you make it to the Sleepy Inn, once again, you meet your friendly pajama lady.
Back to this fucking
Standing
place.
and she says, "Welcome back." Bar crawls must occur.
Yeah, hi, good night.
Yeah, and you all head into the room, and you open the door, and there is Kenny. Kenny is just sitting on the bed, and she has Biggie holding the knife, and doing a little play fighting with Smalley, the two bears. And she looks up and she says,
Amazing.
"Oh my gosh, Big Bragg's Tavern." She says, "Oh, you all are back. Oh, hi.
Hi.
How was your trip?"
Trip was just fine. Did anyone come to see you while you were here?
She shakes her head. Nope.
Not a single
Holy-
person.
Nope.
No one tried.
Nope.
I'm gonna say okay.
What?
And she looks quite cheery compared to everything that's happened to you. She
Yeah, she's
is
just been
completely
she's been
unaware.
play fighting. Yeah,
Yeah, she's just vibing. She is
does she
absolutely
know?
vibing.
She does
No.
not know. I'm gonna say, you two talk to her. I'm gonna scope out the bar, make sure there's no one suspicious here. Everything about this city has me concerned now. And I'm gonna go search for threats while they talk.
Gotta make a little perception check for me.
Can do.
You know, you in your back pocket, you could just say Kosa and Kamikaze.
Kamikosa.
But apparently everyone knows that too.
11. Well, I feel like most don't know. Probably most don't know the effect. Probably
no one
most are
knows
like
yet.
us.
Yeah.
People aren't often saying it because it's so forbidden. And also, why would they? They're not stupid.
Like I didn't know.
Hey, look,
I wasn't raised that way.
Hey, look.
You
don't know
was
me.
raised to the South. It was just
you don't
normal
know
to
me.
say it where I'm from. It's just how we grew up.
I didn't
Just
know.
boys being boys.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm on the hunt for danger in the bar.
Yeah, as you're looking around the inn, there is no bar. It's like a hotel
All right,
type
I
looking place. But yeah,
sorry, I'm
that's fine.
still looking for.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
people.
You kind of are perusing the hallways, and you do not see. You hear some pretty loud snoring from within some of the rooms. But as you are kind of pacing the halls and going between the floors, as quietly as you can, there seems to be nothing amiss. No one is kind of stalking the hallways or thing. Everybody just seems to be sleeping. It's pretty late at night. And for
Cool.
the ones, while one's back in the room, Kenny kind of stretches out. She's like, "Oh, I'm tired. Can we go to bed?"
I'm already laying in bed. Yeah, we can.
Same. I'm laying like this.
Like my eyes are closed. I'm just laying on top of the sheets. Like, yeah, Kenny, we can go to bed.
This time, bad.
It's pretty late.
Yep. And Turlon, you come back in, and everyone's laying in their beds.
I'm just gonna kind of like look over the room and just give a big sigh of relief. I go to bed.
Welcome to your first night in Riddock, everybody. Love it. Yeah, so everybody I'll make it so I'll do the well-rested button for you, Felix.
Yay!
So you should have, you get your focus points and spells and all that back, so that's nice.
Do we roll a D100 now?
Yes, yeah. All of you are gonna have short little dream rolls.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Roll a little D100.
15 for me.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
61.
61, hell yeah. How about you, Mr. Vita?
Wow.
Oh
That's
my god.
fucking nuts.
We got the range. We got 15, 60, 99.
That is nuts. Wow.
Like Bob Psycho type shit. He's about to snap.
Is 99 fucked or is 99 sleepy? What is that?
99.
The most vivid dream of my entire life.
Yeah, so what these rolls are how well you remember your dreams after you experience them. So you all do dreams. So I'll say, Vita, when I describe your dream, at any point in the future, if you have any questions for what happens in this dream, you could fully ask, and you remember it like it's a memory that has been imprinted in your head. That's fucking crazy at 99.
Better be a fucking recompense for saying Kosa, you dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say, as you're all laying in bed, and as you kind of are trying your best to sleep, I mean, it's been a long day, but some crazy shit has happened. I'll say that as you are kind of closing your eyes and falling asleep, within this bed, you feel comfortable, dude. You feel like, you could close your eyes and, for you, Felix, you feel like you're just back in your little cave in the Tilgi Forest. You feel like you're at home, and for you, Turlon and Vita, like, you haven't felt this feeling while sleeping in quite a long time. You're feeling, if it feels like forever, it feels like you are just sleeping and you're just able to go comfortable. It's something about this place just feels like you can just sleep soundly. And so I'll start with you, Turlon. As you drift off to sleep and as you wake up, here's the dream that you remember. It's kind of really hazy. You can't remember much about it, but you do know that it was a memory that you had. And you picture yourself within a room, and you don't you don't remember what you saw within this room, but you know that it was awful things around you, like cages and you know, blood on the walls. It seems to be this very macabre room, like torture devices, these kinds of things. That's what I mean by awful. You see these things all around you, and you're looking around, and as you look down, you see a man laying below you, and just kind of strewn on the ground, and is looking up to you, appears to be just frozen on the ground. And you feel within you, this is what you do remember most of all. Everything else, all the visual stuff is kind of blurry, but what you do remember is, I'm doing the right thing. You know, I
Oh.
am finally being able to make a positive impact on this world. And the next thing that you remember is leaving that room, walking out, and feeling just proud of yourself. And I'll say that's what you remember of your dream.
Pretty wholesome dream.
I'm
Yeah.
normal. I'm normal. I'm
Yep.
normal. I'm
Normal.
normal. I'm normal. I'm normal. I'm normal.
Normal.
Surrounded by
I'm
Yep.
blood.
normal.
Surrounded
Yep.
by blood and gore. This is
Yep.
some good work I've done.
This is Felix, I'll say for you, this is a memory that you had, and normally, your dreams are very. You don't normally have dreams of memories. I'll put it that way. Normally, your dreams are very forest focused and things that have happened throughout the forest, kind of like uh, what you experienced when your very first dream within this campaign. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of these visions that you have of things happening around the forest. You very rarely have ones of your memories, but this time you have a memory where it is you and you are sitting down. You know that you are younger. You're very low to the ground as you're sitting to the ground, and you are looking at a man you admire. A mentor that you've had for a long time, and it is a man in a green robe. Has various flowers and kind of you know natural garb that has been attached all across this robe, and is looking down to you, and you see just with the cloak or the hood, that's the word, the green hood that's kind of covering his face. There's a shadow across his face, but you can see this long white and gray beard coming out, and the man gestures to you, and you start, moving your hands in front of you, and you're concentrating hard. You remember being able to, you really wanted to do this correctly, as you know that you haven't been able to do it correctly in the past. But all of a sudden, after moving your hands and you open your eyes, there's now a ball of light sitting in front of you, just floating in midair, and you can feel yourself smile for a second. And as you're standing there, the man kneels down in front of you, kind of the light shining on both your face, so you're now able to see his face, something you haven't seen many times. And you can see in his eyes that he is smiling underneath his beard, even though you can't really see it. And he says to you, it is difficult, or it is easy to be prideful in others, young Felix. You should be proud of yourself. It's one of the most difficult things. And he looks down and he says, took me a long time to feel pride for my own abilities. You are the best that I've ever known. So you should be happy with your abilities. I know that it was difficult for me, and this is some kind of vulnerability that you've never seen from this person. And so this is kind of was a highlight of your younger life, and it was nice to reminisce on it once again. And that was your dream. And Vita, your dream is is, after just saying Kosa today, you have a very pleasant dream. A dream, once again, it's a memory, and like I said, you got a 99. And Turlon, that was Felix's dream. But this is Vita's dream, and you, again, you can remember this vividly, but you are sitting on, this is something you do not ever remember happening, but you have a vision of yourself, POV, sitting on the side of a lake, and it's a beautiful lake. It expands out in front of you, and you can see there's some mountains in the background, very picturesque, much like like Sweden or something, like some national park, right?
Wow.
Sitting on the side of this lake, and you are sitting here, and you look down at your bottom. You're kind of just sitting on the ground with your knees up, and you look down to the bottom right, and you see that you're holding somebody's hand. Now, there's two hands that are here, and they are, both white hands, or like palish white hands. They are not, your own kind of purplish pink skin that you're used to. So you're not looking at your own hands. It wouldn't be something that you're looking at, but you are holding this hand. You look to your right, and you see another male elf with this palish white skin, this dark hair that's kind of slicked back, not greasy slicked back, but just kind of naturally flows back like that, kind of longer hair, wearing this kind of light green cloak. And he is just looking across the lake just like you are. And he looks to you and he says, do you know why I'm letting you go on this journey? And you can feel yourself shake your head. And he says, he kind of sighs to himself and he looks back at the lake and he says, because I know you'll come back. You've always come back. There's something about you that when there's danger, you just need to go and face it. And he kind of shakes his head. That's always worried me. But he looks at you. I know you'll come back. And that is the end of your dream. And you
Was I
all wake.
wearing the same thing? Or am I?
Yes. Yeah, if you were kind of in your peripheral vision, you were wearing very similar light green robes to what he was wearing. You didn't really see
Oh,
what you were
fuck,
wearing.
man. All right.
But that was your dreams, and you all wake. And Kitty's dream was you have rainbows and butterflies and everything. But you all wake up really well rested. Even
Waking up
after a
knowing I
freezing.
didn't say the galactic slur.
Exactly. After experiencing a crazy experience.
I'll say.
What a way with words.
Yeah. There we go. What do you all do as you wake up? The sun is kind of streaming in, kind of at an edge or at an angle, not really fully straight in. And you have woken up and you feel incredibly well rested. A better sleep than you've had in quite a long time for most of you.
I'm gonna look out the window and look for anyone watching us.
Make a perception check.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
16.
Oh yeah, dude. You look out and the window that you have is not facing the street. It's kind of facing like a little clearing between buildings, and you see no one around. Honestly, but the sun is shining. It seems to be a clear day. It seems to have nice weather here in Riddock, and yeah, you worry not. There's no one watching.
I'm gonna kind of let out a small and quiet sigh.
Nice day.
Yes, it is. Now, what
So
the
we're gonna
hell
go
is
to
going on in Redock?
We're gonna go to the shadow room or what?
No, we
think-
need to go to the museum.
I'd like to satiate my curiosity by
what?
learning just how old that child was. Research Priyavam.
Yeah, we also gotta find Priyavam.
Well, Hopefully we can find her.
The child said that he saw the words, and then he went to the library, and when he was trying to find
Okay.
out what those words were about, he
Good call.
found out about the Shadow Room.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's find that
indeed.
exhibit.
Yeah.
So-
When we don't know what might even cause us to experience what the kid did, so we need to be very careful once we get in there.
hmm
I don't like this.
Well, we already know the word, so
Well, we don't know what word
Well,
that
no,
kid
one
said.
of them.
There could be more. We
yeah.
don't know if looking at it will be enough. If reading it, if thinking it, if saying it will be enough.
Well, not thinking it.
I'm thinking it, so nothing's happening.
Thinking.
The kid said they never read it, so
Okay, let's go find it.
they never said it out loud. They just
Let's
looked
go
at the word. They
museum.
just learned about it, and something happened to them. All I'm saying is we need to be careful.
Yes. And Kenny says, "Am I going with you?"
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
She says, "Yay!"
Kenny,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to read anything.
She
No
says,
Can you
street,
read?
no street,
She
no
says,
street signs,
read?
no book. Do you know how to read, Kenny?
She shakes her head.
Great.
Okay.
No learning.
That's good.
So she says, "Okay." And you all do your daily preparations, get ready, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to set out my fucking crystals.
Yeah.
And do my daily astrology.
Mhm.
I'm being so serious right
I'm
now.
ready.
And oh gosh, where is it? Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm just going to use astrology to kind of gain a certain amount of wisdom for this for what we're doing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and roll. What it does is I roll
Oh.
a 1d8, and then what I roll determines the bonus I get to my next roll that is related to what I'm asking for help from the
Gotcha.
stars for.
Gotcha.
So I kind of like lay out my crystals, I consult like a star guide, and I'm just pondering the question of basically thinking about what the stars recommend when it comes to engaging with this nuke word. So I'm gonna roll my
Good call.
d8.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So
Also,
Good.
I'm just looking
so
through the spell book. Ignore if I click any spells on accident.
so I'm able
Got a
to get a
+4.
+1 next
Oh, okay.
time
Gotcha.
I want to make a check regarding that.
Okay.
So that's it. That's my daily astrology. That's how it works. I won't explain this much next time.
Gotcha.
But
I like it.
it takes me like 10 minutes. I'm just consulting star charts,
Yep.
flipping over cards in my hand.
And I'll say with y'all's sleep, you all level up to level 3.
Yippee yay yay woo! Yippee yay yay woo!
Does anyone know how to add second level spells into my spell casting sign? I have the spells ready
Mhm.
in my preparation list.
And if you
The
drag
actual
it in, does it work?
no, it doesn't, because it says there's only a slot for first rank spells.
Does Path Builder let you have level 2 spells? It might
It's,
be a thing with your. It might be a
oh,
witch thing where you need to teach it to your.
I just hit a button in the top right, said toggle visibility of spell ranks without slots. Now try that. You can see it now. It says second rank.
Oh,
And then you
okay,
type in how
okay.
many spell slots you have for that one,
Yes.
and then you have to hit the spell preparation.
Got it. I'm ready.
And then
I'm ready.
drag them in. Gotcha.
Got
I
it.
gotta copy
Okay.
over my level up stuff right
That's all
now.
I needed.
Yeah, I also already got mine.
I have it all
I
decided. I
also,
just have to
great
put it
news,
in.
fuckers. I can now actually combat wild shape now, so
Whoa.
we're good. I can actually fight as
Yahoo!
beasts.
Let's go.
Oh, and a quick question. This is mostly just a formatting thing for Path Builder. So when I'm looking at my spells, I look at the focus spell section. I got 1 focus point.
Yep.
Wild Morph and Wild Shape say focus 1. Then I
Yep.
have Pest Form and Animal Form that say spell, and then their level. Does that mean I can't cast Pest and Animal Form with focus points?
Yes, they're
But
not focus spells. They're spell.
So but if they are listed under focus spell, does that mean I can just cast them with a normal spell slot and not
Can you
have to
send?
prepare
Can
them?
you send a screenshot?
If they're
Yeah,
also
one second.
under your focus spells, yeah. Like, is there like overlap there maybe? Like you
Yeah, hold
have
on
your
one sec.
focus spells and you can do it, but you can
Hold up.
also cast it as a spell. I think that makes sense. Do you have any more first level spells, Vita, because you're level 3? I'm just asking because I don't know. Or like
No.
more cantrips or something.
No, I like never increase those ever. I just eventually get more of the newest kinds each time.
Gotcha,
So next time
gotcha.
I'll get a
Oh
new
yeah, you
second
get
level, then I'll get 2
more,
new
but you
third
don't.
levels.
Gotcha. Y'all are moving up in the world.
So what is it we're looking at with this screenshot, Craig?
Why does 2 of them say focus and 2 of them say why under focus spells are there 2 regular spells?
Let me look up best form.
I mean, pest form and animal form are spells that other people can cast, not locked to druid. But why are they here and not under like my prepared stuff? Does this mean I just don't need to prepare them?
I'm trying to read that right now.
If it's under focus spells, I'd imagine you can use focus points on them. They just are also spells that, if you had them in your actual spells, you could use those there if you wanted.
Yes.
I'm not
Cool.
sure. I would look more into it later.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you all have gotten ready. You're all leveled up. You feel like you have more vigor, more HP, perhaps. And as
I feel cooler.
I feel good. As you all are heading to as you're leaving and you head down the stairs because you all are on the second level, you get to the little lobby where it was just this. Remember, this lobby is painted like with a deep blue color with kind of speckles of white to simulate stars or to emulate stars. And you see there, not behind the counter, but kind of in front of the counter, is the lady. She is wearing different pajamas right now, the older lady. And then you also see the guard that you saw at the. It seems like forever ago, but the guard that allowed you into all to enter the city, and he is standing there, right next to the lady, talking to her, and he looks to you all as you all enter, and he sees Kenny, and he says, "Oh well, hi. Did you all sleep well at the Sleepy Inn? Did you enjoy it? I hope your visit in Riddock has been good. Did you all ride the burst?" And he kind of looks at Kenny. And Kenny's like, "Yeah, we rode the burst. It was so fun. We rode it twice." And he's like, "Oh, you rode it twice. Well," and he kind of looks to you all. "Well, you all are very, very generous to have you ride twice." And he looks to you all kind of for further speaking points.
Right. Uh, I'm gonna kind of like pause. Yes, everything has been good. Do you need something?
He says, "Oh yes, well I'm here and I went and did some investigating, and I do believe that we have found, or the man that I was discussing before may uh, I do believe is the uncle of Kenny. But as I said, in our talks, it may be if it would be better for some of his children to watch over Kenny." And he kind of looks out to the front door and kind of gestures in, and you see a two people walk in, very young, maybe in their late teens, like early 20s. One is a half elf, half human, and the other appears to be like a half orc, half elf. Y'all are half elf. Y'all haven't really seen, but it's kind of a palish green skin. They're both
Cool.
young males, and they appear to be, it's like this palish green skin, but with pointy ears still. And they walk in wearing very, normal clothes, and they look around, kind of assess the room and kind of look around to you all. And the guard continues, and he says, "And these are the man's children, and are Kinney's cousins. Uh, if you all would like to introduce yourselves and he kind of steps back. And do any of you introduce yourselves first?
Hey, I'm Felix. Kenny was found in my forest, so
I'm
it's just
Vito.
kind of been my responsibility for a bit. Ours. They were also anyway. It's nice to meet you.
I'm gonna nod.
And he's the two of them, and they say, "Oh, hi, yes, I am I didn't pull this up. 1 second.
The lore being referenced right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull up.
Okay.
I'll pull up my lore doc.
Hello. I am. The half orc one says, "Hello, I am Maul," and the other is, "Hi, I am Kim, and we are Kenny's cousins." And they kind of both look both down to Kenny, and Kim kind of kneels down and he says, "Hello, Kenny. We've never met, but my name is Kim." And Kenny kind of just clutching on to Biggie. Uh, well, it's just a Maul, don't worry. But are holding on to Biggie and Smalley and are kind of looking with wide eyes and says, "Hi, I'm Kenny." And Kim kind of says, "Oh, you know, kind of approaches a little bit and it's like, "Oh, what are their names?" What, is kind of pointing to the dog and they're kind of talking to each other. Do any of you want to just watch this interaction or do you say anything?
I'm not
While
saying anything.
Kim is kind of interacting with Kenny and just making small talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
they can
gonna just
interact. That's fine.
kind of like glaze my eyes over and look at the guard. And I'm gonna whisper, "Do they know what happened?"
He kind of leans over to you in the small space and he says, "Yes, I told him that she was found in the forest and that the parents aren't in the picture, but I did not say any much more, but they didn't ask any questions. They kind of understood."
That's just for the best then.
And at this point, Maul is kind of kneeled down and is also talking to Kenny. And make a perception check, all of you, I'd say.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
10
Thinking
plus. 10 plus.
7, I think it was. Oh, now
Well,
it is
now
10.
on Path Builder
It
it
is
says
now
10, so
10. Yes,
that's
it's 10.
20, not natural.
Hell yeah.
22.
Hell yeah. I will say, Vita, from your perspective, they seem to be talking. There doesn't seem to be any bad things going, but I'll say Turlon and Felix, these two guys seem to be really good with talking with kids. Some people are really kind of off-putting, right? But these two are, making Kenny laugh a little bit and are really good at getting down on her level and aren't like, speaking down to her or anything. The vibes, I'll say, seem pretty damn good, right? In terms of
That's good.
their interactions as you're kind of just watching along.
All right.
But after interacting a little bit, Kim stands up and he looks to you three and he says, "Now I know that you all have been taking care of her for some time ever since she was found. But if you all want to come and visit, and uh, I can show you the place where she'll be staying, or we can just go right now if you all have other things better to do." Or and he puts up his hands and he says, I fully understand if you all would like to continue to take care of Kinney. She seems to be in good hands," and kind of gestures to all three of you. So I don't want to uh, take anything away if you
I
all have
think it's
already.
best.
Yeah.
I think it's best if you take her off our hands.
Where we're going is no place for a child. Kenny deserves something better than what we can provide.
And Kim kind of nods along, and do you all say anything before he kind of looks like he's about to turn to Kenny?
I would like to walk with you to wherever it is she'll be staying. We do have much that we need to do today, but I
Yes,
will make time for this.
He says, "Oh,
We will.
absolutely. It's not a far walk. We can do that. Well, I'll show you." And then he kind of turns to Kenny and he says, "Kenny, I hear that you enjoy the burst." And Kenny says, "Yes, yeah." And eyes light up, and he's like, "Well, I think that we should do another trip on the burst. Does that sound good?" And Kenny says, "Another." And she kind of looks up to you all, expecting, like, she's like,
The
"Can
sorry
I go?" Yeah.
question: the guard was a human,
Yes.
and the others were half orcs.
Half elves.
One's
Yeah.
half
Like
Half
elf.
one's
half
an
elf.
half elf, and the other's like a elf orc.
Okay, half elf and elf
Yes,
orc.
half elf, half elf. Yeah, I don't know if there's words
Okay.
for that, but yes.
I'm gonna look to them and just say, yes, that sounds fun. Can you just give us a moment, the three of us, before we come with you?
He says, "Yeah, absolutely," and they kind of go and Kenny goes off to the side, and they keep interacting with her while you three are able to kind of talk to the
I'm
side.
gonna just, I'm gonna switch to Elvish. We all speak Elvish, right? We already established this.
I think so.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it was only
Then I'm gonna say
Bald and
under
dumb.
my breath. I don't know why, but I've a, I'm not sure I trust them.
I don't
That's-
lie. Every single thing we've met in this place has been terrible.
I just worry they're good with children, too good. And I just kind of like shake my head. I'm glad you said something about wanting to follow them. I was going to trail them.
I think. All right. We have a lot we need to do. I think it would be best. I'm not going on the burst. I hate that thing.
I'm not interested either.
Me
One
either.
of
I've always
you
seen it.
should, though.
Well,
with
well,
them.
oh yeah. Yeah, I was saying the
One of
vibe
you should
that,
go.
just to clarify, the vibe was that it would be the three of them would go on the burst after visiting the, after showing
I
you where they would be staying. Just to
I
clarify
Okay.
that.
think Felix, when
You two
what
suddenly really want to go on the burst, or at least one of you
I
does.
was going to say, perhaps one of us can trail them to the burst. I'm willing to do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
We'll split ways, and I'm gonna switch to common and kind of like wink at both of you guys. I don't think we have time for the burst, and I'm gonna be kind of speaking louder now. But we should definitely go with them just to get an eye on this place and where it is.
Oh
And
yeah, we definitely need to see where she'll be staying.
I'm just gonna kind of smile and look
Mm.
at them. Let's get going then.
All right, Kenny,
They
let's
said,
go.
"Oh yes, yeah." And Kenny seems hyped after hearing about the burst. She's down for that. So you all leave. It is a beautiful, cleary, sunny day as you all leave the Sleepy Inn and go to kind of the
One
main
last
path.
thing. Sorry,
Yeah, what's up?
the guard's still there, right?
Yes, yeah.
I want to walk up to him and I just put my hand on his shoulder. So appearance wise, I just stare at him and go, "Hey," and then there's like a moment. In that moment, I want to just kind of soul read him.
Sure.
There's no ability for this. I just want to use perception to try and really assess because he came out of nowhere knowing a lot.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I want to see if there's
Make
any
a-
possible way I could just Hail Mary get a vibe read.
Yes, yeah, you can do that,
For sure.
I will say you have a hero point. So
Cool. I'm gonna use it. It's worse. I got a 4.
Ouch.
oh,
Yowza.
I went from
so
9 to
Yowza.
4.
it's a 14
Ooh.
though, right? Plus
Yeah,
10.
it's a 14.
Yep, 14. Call it a 14.
Still not bad.
Yeah, as you are looking at him, you can
Missed the
see
15 breakpoint though.
you can see within his eyes that he kind of like the similar vibe when you first met him, right? That he understands uh this entire situation where once again it doesn't seem like he's out of his element. He seems like there's been lots of you know as he said before, there's been lots of kids that have been lost in the forest, right? That have come up to Riddock not knowing what it is, right? And he, in this moment, as you're kind of seeing it, he seems to be very happy with the fact that he is not handing it off to just, an orphanage within this town or just a place for just where lost kids can go. He seems really proud of himself and the fact that he was able to find some people, right? Find these, Kim and Maul to take care of Kenny, and it seems to be going great so far. So, in terms of your soul read of him, he seems not shady. That's the best way I
Okay.
can put it. He seems happy with himself in that, things are going great for Kenny.
Okay, cool. Well, if that's the case, then I'll go. So I go, hey, soul read. I go, thank you.
He says, "Well, no, thank you for taking care of her, and I'm glad that she has a good place to stay with."
I nod and I give him a hearty, a little bit too strong pat, pat on the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and then walk out.
All right. Then you all walk out of the Sleepy Inn onto the street, and I'll say, based off of the map where you all are, you start to head kind of out of the Sleepy Inn to the left to this intersection. And I'll make a perception check. I will preface, whatever the word is. I will
Preface.
preface that this is not to do with Kenny.
So,
Okay.
24.
is it supposed to be for Turlin?
I thought you said
It's
all
for
of us.
it's everybody.
Oh,
Yep, everybody.
20. Not natural.
Jeez.
I'll say, you're all either making small talk with the group or, talking with Kenny or as you're walking along. And as you kind of pass this intersection right here, you once again, at every intersection of these major roads, there is a large map of Riddock. On just the corner of your eye, Turlon, just barely, as you're kind of trying to stay focused on Kenny and focused on making sure that she's okay. You notice this map, right, and you kind of look at it, and it crosses your mind, right, that hey, the Shadow Room, has been, the Shadow Room was on that map that we saw earlier when we first entered Riddock. You kind of look over, and even though it's kind of at a distance, as you're walking by, you notice that the Shadow Room is not on this map. It looks just like the map, all the other maps that you've seen before, but on this one in specific, you do not see the Shadow Room label, right? Looks just the same, but as you're looking for it, you know it was in the top right of the map when you saw it before, and you don't seem to see it.
Cool. I'm gonna say just kind of like glance towards it and then look back at you guys. And I look forward to the half orc and the half elf and the human. Can you just wait a second? I've not been in the city often. I want to get an idea of where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stopped to look at the map. Does it look like it's been tampered with
Uh,
recently? As in like scribble marks, crosses, like broken, like anything?
yeah, make a perception check for me as you're kind of looking at it closer.
Sure. The button. Where's the button? 12. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12.
12, 12. I'll say it does not look uh, tampered with at all. I'll say that as you're looking at all these squares, like all that looks like all the buildings on Riddock, some are a brighter color, some like look wetter than others as you're kind of inspecting it. Like they look like freshly painted, but that's just across the entire town, especially up towards where the Shadow Room label was. There doesn't appear to be any kind of tampering or any kind of removal or anything like that. It doesn't seem like that part has been touched any other part any more than any other part. Right.
I think I have my bearings now. Thank you.
Right. And you all continue on, and I'll say that uh, uh, yeah, yeah, I actually need to use the restroom real quick, but we'll take a small bathroom break real quick. I need to pee. But as you all are kind of walking
Speaking.
down this path to the south, you there is a building off to the right. I'm gonna ping it on the map. It's right above Kinney. It's this small building. You see this here? Old
Yeah, I
building right
see
there?
that there.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
building. As you're kind of walking down this path, Maul points to the right, and he says, this is our house to the right. We can go and visit it if you'd like, and or take a look and please inspect it. We have cleaned in preparation after after Brian came by and told us about
His name. Okay.
after Brian came by and told us about Kinney coming to the north end of Riddock, or the north entrance to Riddock. And so you all kind of walk towards it, and what you see is this, just like a lot of the buildings in central Riddock, this is painted they're all painted various kind of palish kind of colors. This one is painted a nice, incredibly light blue, like we're talking, practically white, but just a hint of light blue. It is a two-story house with kind of a tapered roof, and there's a front entrance with windows all around. There appears to be a little shrubbery and perhaps like a garden to the side, right? Something that looks like a little fenced-in area, and it looks like a little nice house. And Maul and Kim start just kind of talking in general about, how long they've been living there, and are you all interested in hearing all those things, or are you kind of just trying to visually scope out the place as you kind of enter?
Sorry,
Uh,
can you repeat what they were talking about?
Passively interested.
Yeah,
I'm not like, oh, tell me more. I'm
Mhm.
just kind of entertaining them to give the other two time to look.
Yeah,
they're
I'm just gonna look around best I can.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm just gonna lead the conversation while they look.
got you.
Does that give them any bonus at all to not have to worry about like
Throughout
holding
it,
a conversation?
I do want to add in like, oh really? Like,
Mhm.
just like the very easy, like, oh,
Mhm.
like the engagement
Yeah.
noises.
And
Yes.
Single words.
I'll keep the conversation going long enough to give them ample time to look.
Yeah, then I'll say that, yeah, I like that, and I'll say that both you, Vita, and Felix get +2 circumstance bonus to your perception checks as you kind of
Oh.
look for this place. And if you have anything specifically that you're looking for, please let me know so I can tell you of its existence or not.
In the business, we call that a 29.
Oh,
Oh,
We call
damn.
that a 26.
what business
Hey,
are you guys in? God damn.
God damn.
business of looking at shit.
Sheesh, sheesh,
So you
sheesh.
all, as you are walk into this building, it is a smaller building, right? But so there is a lot of stuff happening in this building. It looks quite lived in, but it also looks clean. There is lots of couches and not lots of couches. There's a couch and there's lots of furniture. There's a couch and it's kind of some sofa chairs that seem to have some nice padding to them. But there's also wooden chairs around like a little kitchen table with a nice thing of flowers. It's a vase with only 2 flowers in it, but it still looks kind of nice. And there's a small little kitchen area with a nice little you know, little fireplace that appears to have connected to a chimney. It is. It's a nice little cozy interior, and there appear to be stairs in the back where, like a stairs that kind of go back up the back wall that you can't see. It's kind of like behind a back wall. But on this first floor, there's lots of sunlight coming in. All the windows are opened up, and there's a nice breeze coming through here. It's a nice little cheery atmosphere in here. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. Like if you're looking specifically for things being amiss, nothing seems to be out of place. Nothing. It's not like spick and span clean, but it
Mhm.
is someone cleaned this morning clean.
That's good.
You've all seen that kind of
Tidied up. Yeah.
cleaned up. But that's all. You walk in, and as you are engaging in the conversation, Turlon, they're talking about, as you can kind of tell, me and this is Kim speaking, me and Maul are not exactly of the same ancestry. We share the same father, the man that I believe
What a
Brian spoke to
fucking
you all
chat.
about. But yes, and and Kim says, and then Maul jumps in and he says, yes, the main reason that you all absolutely are able to meet him if you would like, but he, and he kind of looks down, just thinking to himself for a second, and Maul says, and this is the half orc. He says, I was born out of a, what's the word when you,
Out of wedlock.
yeah, it's like when a mistress, right? Like I was born,
He's a bastard.
yeah,
out of
yeah,
wedlock.
bastard child, yeah, exactly, out of wedlock, right? Like I was,
My man.
kind of, I stayed with my mother when I was very young, but soon, uh, uh, Kim and his mother soon took me in as soon as they left the man that, and he says, oh, and this is, second, let me make sure I got his name. This is, oh, and our uncle, yes, our father's name, I should say. Our father, Kinney's uncle's name is Poffert. After we left Poffert, our father, after Kim and his mother left Poffert. They would all say this
What?
much more eloquently than me,
What
but
the?
essentially they're getting the point across that Maul was born as, out of wedlock, stayed alone with his mother for a little bit, right, until a young age. But at some point, Kim and his mother left Poffert, the man that the Kenny's uncle, at some point to live on their own, and then they eventually, Kim's mother took in Maul, and they've been living here since. And so, and then Kim says, my mother is not in right now. She's in town doing some errands. If you all would like to come by later, I know she's coming later in the afternoon is when she'll be back. You could absolutely meet her if you wanted. But yes, we've been living here. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs. We each have had our own room, but with Kinney moving in, me and Maul are absolutely willing to share a room. While Kinney can have her own room, we want her to have some privacy. And they kind of gesture up and said, "Would you all like to see the upstairs? Would you like to see where she would be staying?" And Kim again puts up his hands. If you all are willing to have her visit, again, this is up to you. You are her current caregivers. You have been taking care of her for some time now, as I understand it.
I don't think we need to do any of that. We completely trust you. Except I don't trust them. Have we
Boom.
told them the parents' names at all?
You have not told them. No, you told
Well, the
Brian,
guard,
the
'cause he
guard.
found them.
Yes, but you have not told. That has not come up in the conversation.
Okay. Above board, I wanted to do something really, really clever, like say the parents' wrong name or something to see if they like go with it as if they're lying. But we don't really have that card since we told them the name before.
Just trailing them like you're gonna
Yeah,
is the
I
best option.
agree. So yeah, I'm just gonna say no. I don't have any concern. You seem like outstanding people. It's quite nice of you to do something like this. And we have things we must be attending to. We'd like to keep our visit in the city short, if at all possible. I'm going to do a sort of. It is a fake laugh. I think I'd be good at not faking it, but give a sort of faked laugh about how we need to go in and get the hell out of this city.
I fucking hate it here.
There's a little bit of truth behind just kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say, "Oh well," and they look to both you, Felix, and Vita, as you all are kind of looking around, and Kim says, "Well, would you all like to see the upstairs? Is there any questions that you may have And again, if you have any questions at all, we are open books, and we we are just trying to look out for family and Kim kind of looks at Maul as we have done in the past.
Nah. I trust you guys. You seem very nice. We have to. We have a appointment at the museum. We have to get to. Anyway.
Seems safe.
So.
Thank you again for helping us, and for helping Kenny.
They,
More importantly,
they say thank you, and they now look at Kenny and they say, "Well, Kenny, let's show you your room, and then we can head off to the burst. How does that sound?" And Kenny says, is
first.
absolutely thrilled by this and is like, "Oh yeah, sure." And Kenny, as they kind of start heading up the stairs, Kim is kind of leading them. Maul is staying on the floor, and Kenny does, if as you're watching Kenny walk away, Kenny does not look back. Is excited to see her room and kind of just goes up the stairs. But what do you all do now that they're
Well,
kind of upstairs?
once we pass by a little bit away from them, I'm
Mhm.
going to look to you guys and say, one of you should take this coat. It's very distinctive. My big purple coat that I wear.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it off, and I try to like hide it really most of the time. So you see that like the like tunic or like soft fitted shirt that I'm wearing below it, like like it. I'm very what's the word? I'm very frail.
Mhm.
Like you could almost like see bone. Like I'm like those photos of Steve Jobs before he died. Like they look like that. And I hand the coat to you, Felix. And like there's metal trinkets all over it. Like they like clank and click around. And it's like a very heavy coat, like way heavier than a coat should be with all of the things. And there are
Uh-huh.
still trinkets like in my like side jacket pockets. And then like I pull up like a second hood over my tunic, like that my tunic has, and I just nod at you guys. The museum. See you there.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
On our way.
I'm gonna go scope out a spot to watch. I
All
do
right.
keep my implement on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
My
I would say
tools.
that effectively speaking, they have my esoterica because I can't carry it all just in my basic pockets.
Mhm.
But I say I grabbed all of my necessary gear for like fighting, but I don't have my
Gotcha.
esoterica.
If you need to, you never know. All right. Awesome. We uh are going to. So Felix and Vita, are you all off to the museum?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. I will. We will quickly do Kenny and Turlon because it's going to take some time for y'all to get to the museum, and we'll kind of switch over once you all get to the museum. But I'll say, as you all leave to the museum, Turlon, you are kind of off to the side, barely recognizable from your previous outfit, and so you uh, soon, I'd say you maybe wait like only like 2 or 3 minutes, like not a very long amount of time. Like you could probably still look to your right and still see Felix and Vita like haven't turned this corner yet over here. But after that, you see Kim, Maul, and Kenny come out, and Kenny is in between them. Maul and Kim are beside her, and she is practically, she starts to run out and start running out into the street, and Kim kind of catches up to her and like, grabs her shoulder and then has her hold her hand, or has him hold her hand as they are, uh, as they walk down the street together so that she doesn't run off. So do you follow behind?
Yep, I'm just gonna follow behind, safe distance. Always want to keep them in sight, but I want to
Yes.
have at least a couple people behind, between us.
Yes.
I'm obviously good to roll for this, but I am pretty good at this, so I don't think it's too much of an effort.
Yeah, I would say do a stealth check, but it's not
Yeah,
going to
and
be
I'm
a hard DC, but
yeah. Let's go
you
ahead
never
and
know.
hit that stealth.
You do know how to roll some ones for sure. And,
I do know how to roll some ones. 15.
oh, almost a one.
Almost. Fucking
Almost.
almost.
But yes, you are able to not trip, and you follow behind them, and uh, Maul appears to be, kind of the one uh, looking around where Kim seems to be talking with Kinney the most, kind of interacting with her, and uh, they don't seem to be whispering or anything, so you can kind of hear bits and pieces of conversation as they're kind of talking loudly down the street, and Kinney's voice kind of carries about how she's how she's already ridden the burst twice, and she can't wait to do it again. She used to do it, or she did it with her dad before, but this time she did it all by herself. She wore her own parachute, and that was really fun, and all these kinds of things. And she's just kind of rambling as kids do,
Yeah.
and you all are walking down the path, and I'll say you all do in fact turn towards the burst. Do you do anything along this journey?
No, I'm singularly focused on following. I sort of bob and weave in between people,
Mm-hmm.
pretty easily, pretty naturally.
Gotcha. All right, then
Occasionally I have to take a bit of a step to, get to someone, but to, follow them to naturally kind of stay behind. But overall, it's pretty straightforward. Just
hell yeah. Then
listening. That's
yes,
it.
I'll say that as Kenny, as they get to the burst, as it is like at this point, what would it be like 10 a.m. I'll say maybe.
Mhm.
I'll say it's kind of still early in the morning. Or that's not early in the morning, but later in the morning. There is quite a long line at the burst. Before the burst line was, as I'm pointing out here, it was a very long, or before it was like, a couple of groups. Now the line to the burst is probably like a good, you know,
Yeah.
like kind of Disneyland line where there's a whole bunch of people. You see some families, you see some, you see of all kinds of ancestries and different garbs. Some are wearing, more tattered clothes, where others are wearing more. Uh, Most of them are wearing more, sophisticated clothes. I guess it's not a lot of, it's definitely more on the average upper class are the people that you see there, but you do see of all kinds of clothes and ancestries. You just see a whole bunch of people, but you can imagine that this line would go on for a pretty long time. Uh, like maybe like at least 30 minutes based off your judgment of how long it took, because it takes like maybe even longer. It just takes like the burst like 5 minutes to charge up, and all the while just you've heard the burst go off, but you all have gotten very used to it at this point. I'll say during the night the burst was not going off. You all noticed that much. We kind of forgot about the burst, but I'll say during the burst. Uh, Only really when the sun is up is when the burst appears to be running. That's from y'all's experience.
Mm.
But do
Yeah,
you do anything as soon as they kind of enter the line? They appear to be waiting for the burst.
I'm gonna stand by the exit and wait to trail them back.
Okay.
I want to trail them all the way until they go back to their place.
All right. Sounds good. Then we will switch over to Felix and Vita. You all start to approach the Reavers Museum of Riddock. As you
Right.
Do you all talk about anything as you all are walking there?
Oh god. Sorry, I was
I'm
immersed.
gonna say Vita's gonna be pretty deeper in thought because he's concerned about this word that
Hmm.
he knew somehow that there's a whole exhibit on. He's
Mm-hmm.
kind of worried what he's gonna find out about it.
Okay.
I'll say at one point I will break the silence and just ask, what do you think the Reavers are?
I don't know, but their name keeps coming up everywhere. So
Why would that be the name that was selected for? They're they're like the governing body here, right?
yeah,
I don't really
it's
know
like
much about like legal structure or whatever, but Reaver is not a name I associate with like law. So
I've never
wonder
heard
what
of them
that's
before. But if it's their museum, does that mean it's their information they're giving everyone?
maybe. I mean, I doubt it's gonna. If it's theirs, I doubt it'll be Reaver negative. We'll just have to see.
Reaver propaganda.
Yeah, Reaver negative, Reaver positive. I'll say you all start to approach the Reaver's Museum of Riddock. You see that it is a building that is painted a nice brown color. I don't know how to put it, but it's like a kind of a deeper brown. It looks stained. How about that? Like kind of the wood kind of has this kind of shine to it. So you can kind of see the grain as well. So most of the other buildings around here appear to be painted over the wood, so it's kind of more one solid color with some planks, But this looks to be more of a polished. There seems to be some clear epoxy on the outside of this museum, but it's a large square building. It appears to be just one level. It's not very tall, and just across the front, the big double doors on the front that are both ajar open. You see in very fancy script and carved into the wood is Reaver's Museum of Riddock. And at this moment, you can see as you're kind of walking up to it, you see a female dwarf and her child walk into the museum right before you. And as you all are approaching, do you do anything besides just approach the museum and go into it?
No.
No, yeah, we're here.
Okay. As you approach it, there is a little sign that you see kind of right in the middle of right in the middle of the doorway, kind of like that you have to kind of walk around a little bit. It's very obviously placed there, so you see it, and it says on it that the first thing in big letters is it says museum tours at the top of every hour, and at the bottom it says parents, please remind your children to not say the words in red ink. And in red ink is bolded with red paint. And there's this little wooden sign that you both see as you walk in. Do you just walk in?
What do you think? Like the legal? There's probably not any laws. I guess
Mhm.
above. Like this is Phoenix would not know or care because his entire life has not been governed by man-made laws.
Mm.
But me, what is like the liability thing they got going on? Like, is there on the back? Is it like text? It's like by reading and by passing by this sign, all attendees acknowledge blah 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 blah. It's like
Yeah.
they're legally safe from any
Like
bad thing
expecting
that happens.
kids to not read the big red
Hey,
letters.
don't read it. Why?
that's
You
a
mean
big-
read
You mean
read-
Kosa?
read Kosa? I'm not supposed to say what? I'm not supposed to say Kosa?
Dies.
Well, I will say that
Takes 1d10 damage.
I will say that I can't like it is yes, it's like a slur, but I can't stress enough that Vita saying it is very
It's really weird.
is really weird because everyone not to say it, not because oh, it feels like you would die if you would say it, and that's not something you learned. That is something that when you read the word, as soon as you kind of learn how to read, as soon as you know of these words and you've only ever read them, no one's ever said it out loud, it feels like you wouldn't say it. So this sign is
sense.
there, like, people, like kids reading this, if they can read, would know. They don't need to be reminded by their parents not to read it. They would know that, and that's why the kid
Okay,
in
so 5
this
was a
like
fucking
extra
moron.
dimension. Yeah.
I'm gonna mute my for a second. I'm still here.
So does that also mean that, just to make sure, so Vita didn't have that same like inherent taboo sense?
Vita knew not to say it, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was not. Vita knew that it was a word that shouldn't be said, but yes, based off of like an above board. Felix doesn't know this, but above board, Vita does not. Didn't, like
Have
I
the
was
same.
describing, did not know why it
Yeah,
should
so
be
he
said. It wasn't
he
that
has the
same
technical.
visceral.
Yeah, he has the technical. Well, don't say it, but he doesn't get like afraid
Yeah,
when you think. Okay,
it's
cool.
not something
Just
that's
want to clarify.
ingrained. Yes.
Okay. But
You good, Dill Pickle Rick?
shut the fuck up, bro.
Let him cook.
Mm-hmm.
No, get his stank ass out of the kitchen. I don't want him cooking whatever that is. Dill pickle Rick. Oh my
Dill
god.
Pickle Rick. You like that?
No,
You
I
like
don't.
That. You like that, don't?
No, I don't.
Don't lie.
Okay. Well, Vita, do you think we should get a tour or no? I'm not really. I'm kind of torn.
Okay, I'm back with my mic. Sorry.
Hi.
I
Yep.
was here though.
Yeah.
I think how like truly big is it? How confusing would it be if we didn't get a tour for us to navigate ourselves
Yeah.
and find what
Y'all haven't entered just yet, but as what you can see, and it appears to be, it's like a good size, like a good visual, like half a gymnasium, maybe,
Oh.
or like half a
so not
basketball
huge.
court, half a basketball
that
court.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not bad at
not
all.
huge.
No, we don't need a
No,
tour.
it's
Yeah.
definitely not that big from what you can kind of see. You can see the back pretty easily. It is, it's not a small little tiny room, but it is, and you see various displays and things and stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't think we need one for sure at all.
Then I will say, as you enter, you see all around you there are displays of, very, I've only, I just played Arkham, City, so like I'm only thinking of the museum in there, or Arkham, yeah. Like just, the classic museum cases where there's like some text on the back and it's like this glass thing, and there's like some things on the, some items that are displayed on the bottom, and maybe some,
Yeah, that's a
posters or
good
something
visual.
like that. Yeah, there's a bunch of those just all around the room, and there's tons of open space to walk around. But in the center of the room, there appears to be a statue of some, man with a, hat, kind of looking, heroic in like a heroic pose, just kind of, pointing up to, kind of at a 45-degree angle. There's this statue in the middle. But as soon as, yeah.
Who is that? Is that marked?
Yeah, you can, that thought comes to your mind, but as soon as you enter to your right, there is you see that the mother and the kid that just walked in, you see that they're standing in front of a, let me pull it up real quick. You see a young female elf who has kind of pale skin and this long whitish blonde hair. She is wearing a brown cloak, kind of much like the color of the outside of the museum, and has a little crest on both sides of the front of her cloak. She kind of has a nervous look to her, but is talking to the family, and she looks over at you all and she says, "Oh, well, hello. Would you all like to join the tour? It's just starting just now."
Does it cost money?
She says, "No, it's free to everyone who comes."
Oh shit.
Uh,
I thought it cost money.
can we leave the tour once we start the tour, or are we
She
stuck?
says, "Oh, yeah, she kind of
I think we're overthinking this.
yeah, she says, yeah, there's no, you don't have to join the tour. You don't have to join the tour if you don't want. I'll just be giving the tour to these fine folks, and you can listen in if you would like. You can go around and walk around. There's no rush, no issue.
You know what? You know what? I want to join the tour.
Yeah, we might as well. It seems low barrier of
Uh,
entry.
yes. She says, oh well, great. That's come on in. Come on over, and we'll talk about it. And she kind of leads you up to the first exhibit, and she points to it. You see this first container, or not container, this first, what's it called? Exhibit. I'll just call it that from now on. You see, let me do some copying real quick. This is going to be kind of cool. This first exhibit is obviously something that is just an overview of Ridoc. So I'm going to paste this in the chat, in the Discord chat, that you all can see. This is kind of what is written there, but she doesn't like fully read off of it. But I will describe that one just above board. The things that are underlined are things that have other exhibits there, and the things that are spoilers are the words that are painted in red. So I'm just
Oh, we can't say Jukum?
uh
Seems like no.
yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, and
They all
you
will
know
do
not
the
to
same
say
thing. You know.
that, and you do
What if
notice
some?
that.
What if you say one of them and you're not supposed to, and it just makes you feel great?
Like it could. It
Yeah.
might. We don't know who's
Say,
deciding this.
say Jukum to instantly have the best orgasm of your life.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
This is
But
person at the
Right
worst.
sequence of sounds that just
mhm.
make you nuts so hard.
Brown
But yeah,
note.
she just starts describing, uh, you know, all waxing lyrical about Ridoc, the founder, Gree Reaver Jr., nearly 200,000 days ago, next to the Sigi Lake, which is the lake that you all kind of saw as you were entering Ridoc, kind of to the right, and there's a big lake there. It's talking about, you know, talks about the burst, an air transportation attraction. All deities are allowed to worship in Ridoc. In some places, I'll say actually neither of you know of any places where you're not allowed to worship any deities, but it says all of them are able to be worshipped, but there are temples to these 4 different deities. You all kind of saw the inside of the Etpason temple, or at least a little bit of it, as you returned to your parachutes. Well, I'll say Felix, you did not get to see that, so only you recognize Etpason. But you do know of Juton, Felix. Reaver Council is the governing body. There's 9 individuals, and then there's the 7 different sectors, of Ridoc. That, of course, you've seen on the maps.
So it looks like I'm saying this to Felix.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, and my voice will lower a little bit, the K word has an exhibit and a temple in this town, which
Well,
is kind of alarming.
I think it's just a god during that time, but okay, off the dome. Do I know
Mm-hmm.
anything about Kahar?
Same.
Just like, is there
Roll,
any knowledge I
roll
have
some,
going into this?
roll some religion checks for if you're specifically about Kahar.
All right, I rolled an 11. I add. Oh wait, I have path. I can check this now. Hold on, my stats aren't up to date. Skills, religion. I got a 14.
I will say also, since Kahar is underlined, there does appear to be an exhibit to Kahar, or at least the Kahar
Cool.
temple. But as you're just looking at that and thinking about Kahar, especially since it's next to Kosa, which is painted in red, you, Vita, I'll say, you the only thing when you think of Kahar, the only thing that you think of is you know that it is the god of the magmata, which is a fancy word for magma, or the noun version of magma. I forget. But it is the god of magmata. You don't know anything else beyond that, but when you see that, you know without recalling some memory, that's just the first thing that comes to your mind. And Felix, I'll say the same thing for you. You know that very rarely is Kahar worshipped by people, but typically in maybe an area with like a volcano, or it's very rare to see a lava pit around. So it's not exactly a very common god, but it's something you have heard of as being a deity, because at some point you've probably heard these deities' names just in general, but not
I'm gonna
much
have
about them.
a Vita smart moment here,
Yeah.
where saying this to Felix. So it looks like, and this also could be completely obvious to Felix, but looks like the underlined words, like Kahar, same with Et Busan and Jutan, are the gods that we've heard about in this town. Like we've heard about Et Busan, that's the gust one. And in parentheses, the red ones next to it could be ones that one is specifically maybe under or associated with for some reason.
Yeah.
So
That sounds right, I'll say to both of you. Sounds right.
Makes sense.
because we've seen those two before.
Mm-hmm.
And Vidana is, we know, the name of this era, which is going to be
Yes,
a bigger name.
and you can say Vidana. You feel
You
fine
can?
saying
That
Vidana.
one's
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's
that's
not
not
spoilers.
not in
Oh,
red. You
I'd
can
hope
say
so.
that.
But
Yep,
that's the
It's the
current
current
era.
age.
that is
Yeah.
the current era.
Kind of a dick
So
move.
so
but
maybe
I don't-
investigating Kahar will lead us. And I think the Reaver Council and Kahar probably are two biggest
Yeah.
exhibits we want to see.
I swear to God, is if the Reaver Council is named the same way Lynchburg is named, Lynchburg is literally racism town founded by John Racism, the biggest abolitionist in Virginia.
It's Mr. Reaver Jr. It says so. It's,
Mr. Reaver Jr., the
Right.
pacifist.
Yeah, Gree River Jr.
Fuck. Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
yeah.
Uh,
I want
so
to go to one of those two.
Yeah,
First.
I want to skip. I want to skip ahead to Kahar.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, she keeps kind of talking along, but you do you both go to Kahar?
Yeah.
1 second. You see an exhibit titled the Kahar Temple. I'll put it in the chat. Fun stuff.
Thank you for typing this. That's the only way I could
Yes.
retain any of this information.
Honestly, yeah. This
Yes,
is a
yeah,
lot.
and yes, absolutely. The god of the Magmata, as you both knew. But it kind of talks about how there is a giant there's a lot of magma the beneath the town, and it provides heat to the ground.
A lava pool.
And because of that, snow does not stick very well within the town. So during the coldest of days, that's really the only time that people actually pray to Kahar to make it so they do not get snowed in. But it talks about how the temple is next to the Kahar lava pit. There's very few followers, and it's a giant black glass building, the symbol of Kahar. And I will put in the symbol of Kahar.
We got a lot of lore here in this place.
Yeah, a very crude.
Me when I find lore in the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have knowledge in this museum.
I mean, in Sumia. I mean, Stevens
Oh,
made
yeah.
symbols for.
See this kind of symbol. Very
Cool.
cool looking.
I see on the
But
map that lava pit's called the Kahar lava pit.
yes, it is.
That makes sense.
Things are clicking.
Mhm.
So that it doesn't say much about Kahar other than once again Kosa is next to Kahar's name, and they have a temple, and not a lot of people follow him, or not a lot of people worship him, but there is still a temple.
We'll go there for sure.
Yeah, we'll put
Put a
that
pin
down
in
in our
that one.
day planners.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Do you all go to anything else?
Doriva Council, right?
Yep.
You want to go to the
I
Reaver
mean, I do.
Council?
I want to.
I love this. You see a title exhibit, the
Bergapot.
Reaver Council. Yeah,
Are you
I know.
Who's named
Soma
Bergapot?
Bergapot, Soma Drog,
Dude, there's some. I love
Rafanuka?
naming. I love naming
Sir
people in this.
Corneli.
I love fucking.
Sir is actually his first name.
Yeah, I love fucking naming people. Uka. Good old Rafanuka.
Bergapot needs to die.
Bergapot's done.
Bergapot's such a nice guy. Come on. But essentially, Gree Reaver did not like the idea of having one person lead, so created the Reaver Council.
Mr.
Nine
Uka is
and
my father.
there's 9 individuals, as you can see listed here. They get to kind of represent the 7 different sectors of Riddock, or that's how it is at least in the modern day. But yeah, they decide all of the laws. And you see
All the laws.
the
Okay.
first one is Fruna Reaver is the first one. So that's something I'll just say you notice.
Jukum is the one right before our era, right?
Yes.
Cool.
What
But
you
don't
know
say
that
it.
it was
Yeah, I
the
won't say.
18th era of Jukum.
Okay.
Also, 9 p.m.
Hold on, we gotta get through this real quick.
Yeah. We
And
can
how to
do this.
protect and preserve Redoc
Okay,
culture.
make sure we're still good.
Protect and preserve Redoc. Some Redacan nationalists. Anyway, having a larger group of people has made it basically incorruptible and has led. Damn, this.
Yeah.
Bad.
Hold
Yeah.
on a moment. This is what's written on the wall, right? This is what's
Yes.
written in the thing. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Having a larger group, 9 people, has made it basically incorruptible and has led to the great history of Riddock you see around you. As time has gone on, the council has changed individuals through either retirement, resignation, or being voted off. The modern day council is housed by people that mostly represent the 7 sectors of town. Here are the current
And Vita
council
takes
members.
this as face value. Because the first thing he says is, well, this is a dead end. They seem really good.
Okay, God, this is a moment where I can decide a character trait for Felix, but I'm not sure how I want to take it. Okay. Okay. I'm explaining this because, as I've said, I'm trying to make Felix's character as time goes on, and I don't want it to be stupid. So I'm
No,
trying
you're
to
good.
make good choices.
Yeah.
So while Alex says something at protect and preserve Redoc culture, Felix I don't think would notice or care. But a larger group has made it basically incorruptible. That will strike him, and it's like, well, why would you need to say that? Also not true. Number 1, why would you need to say that? Number 2, not true, or
Yeah.
how that works.
So you don't trust this?
You say, well, this seems. So Vita says this is a dead end, and you can just kind of see Felix rereading it a couple times. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, it says right here they're incorruptible.
It also says that it's a larger group, and it's just 9 people. 9's not that large of a group.
Oh, it's not?
I mean,
It's larger than our group.
I guess it depends on the context, but
So
like if you're hanging out, it's probably like a pretty decently sized group. But for like the government, I don't know.
9 is a pretty common city council size.
I don't know if I call it large.
I'll go with whatever. So, okay,
Yeah.
so are you saying this is at least questionable? Is what we should take away from this, Felix?
I think that more often than not, it is more trustworthy if something shows its self than I believe in showing, not telling. If something shows that it is incorruptible, if shows that it is good, I will believe it. But if it has to say it,
Okay.
why does it have
Well,
to say it?
the one thing we know here is that we were looking for someone to blame or to explain the shadow rooms and how they're super dangerous. They're on the maps. They banish people and children.
But not
And
that
it
one.
says right here, except for that one map, yeah. But we had already seen it on a map.
Yeah.
And it says right here, these people make all the rules and laws. So surely
The maps have to come from
from these people.
Steven, are the maps so the maps, is that like a public works project? Like that's made by the city for the people?
I will say
Sorry to keep you,
when
Kevin.
yeah, I will say
No, I didn't go
when
at 9, but it's still we're good.
I will say that when you all first saw the first map, you did notice that there was someone working on the top right of the map. It seemed like you're kind of like thinking back to who have you seen at the maps. Otherwise, you have not seen anybody working on them. You can only presume that it seems to be, since it's across all of Riddock, it seems to be, you can only assume that yes, there is something. It seems to be a public thing. It doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
There doesn't appear to be anything. It does seem some private organization. That's the best that you can assume based off of
Like they
looking at
should
it.
know that the shadow rooms exist. Like
They
whoever's
should.
in that jurisdiction, they like 100% would have authorized it according to this wall.
We should
I agree
figure
with that.
out who we need to find out what these people are actually responsible for, because they're supposed to manage different parts of the city. Because
Yeah.
we shouldn't ask all of them.
No, it'd be whoever's in the lower end, which is where we
Yeah.
found that shack, and that's where one of the shadow rooms was. And where we're at
So
now.
okay. So we should go to the temple. I have an idea for how like we can get the Kaharans to tell us stuff.
Okay.
Um
Can we look real quick at the lower end exhibit and just see which of the Reaver Council members?
oh yeah.
And then we have 2 pretty solid names of people to go talk to. The Qatar Temple and that person.
As we walk over there, I say, and then we also have to collect Turlin. They need to be here for this.
Yeah, for sure.
And then yeah, okay.
And so you all are going to the lower end exhibit.
Yes.
Yeah, just to find that.
Oh yeah, it's
Soma
at the end
Drog.
if you're looking for it. Yes, it's Soma Drog is the person who is represented on the council. But it is called the lower end basically because it was built very quickly. And they ran out of wood as soon as the 25th era of Ventpahan started.
Okay. So now we can take this back to Turlin and we can say,
The trees quickly stopped growing, and what the fuck happened in
oh,
the era of
yeah,
Ventpahan?
what does that mean? Because that'd be
Led
important for you, because you live
Yeah,
there.
Steven, does this mean anything to me? This is my
Um,
jam. This sounds like something that is not in balance.
Yeah, I would say that roll a religion check for me.
Oh God,
Or how about a nature check before you say? You can choose.
I was gonna
Just
say
let that
I
roll.
chose my skill as occultism. I don't remember why. I should probably change it to religion. I think I'm gonna do that.
Then yeah,
Sorry.
so yeah, that's fine.
So nature,
Nature or
17.
religion, it's up to you.
Nature 17.
Yes, a nature of 17. I'll say that based off of visions that you've had while, kind of conferring with forest spirits and things of that nature, you know that during different eras uh, are better for the forest than others. Whenever, in the history, if you've ever had some vision of the past, it greatly depends on what era it has been in. And I will say, and what was the roll again? 17?
Yes.
I will say that when this is something specifically, whenever it was an era of Venpahan, the trees do grow you've noticed that the forest trees seem to grow much quicker during an era of Venpahan. You've never experienced it yourself, but I will say that that is something that you have noticed. But that's the furthest you see, trees not growing as quickly. You can imagine that, as you're kind of thinking about it, I'll say that the 25th era of Venpahan seems to be that when trees would be growing quickly, and maybe that era changed, and all of a sudden they were not growing as quickly, and suddenly were not able to
Okay, so a
continue their
fundamental aspect of the
expenditure.
era is different, suddenly changed. Man,
Yes.
these first order fucks.
Yeah, so that confirms what we were
Mm.
saying, where like literally anything could be happening, and like this could not even be normal, like the one we're living in, this era.
No, there's fucked up stuff that will only be fucked up once we leave it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you all have only really lived in an era of Jukum, a lot of this stuff that you're kind of like rediscovering and talking about is really a rediscovering moment.
Because it
For
wasn't just a basic fact about our life, damn it.
a lot of people they got used to just how things were. But I will say, having read the first one, you do remember like, however, since the beginning of this era, the very first thing that you all saw, the life within the lake has greatly diminished due to this has once
Yeah.
begun known for its mane. So, based off of everything you're reading, it seems to be based off of different eras, different things happen.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I have to leave. But I think that's
Yeah,
Okay.
let's wrap up.
All right. Then I'll say that's where we end the session. We'll talk. We'll start next time with, I'll say, Turlon.
Yep.
Them going in the burst, and we will.
Yes.
Uh,
Another burst segment.
Yes, another burst segment. We'll see where they go, and we'll talk more about the museum. And it seems like you may go to the Kahar Temple or the Reaver Council, or who knows? Y'all will discuss it.